Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to be working on the Porsche Boxster again. Last time you guys saw me, I broke that lower, steering column rack right here. I found out that this was broken when I pulled the car in. I have the new one right here. It also came with the upper, which goes inside the car. And then I'm also going to be doing the water pump, thermostat, all the gaskets, pulleys, and tensioner. I'm gonna go ahead and do the pulleys and tensioner first, just to make sure that when I start the car up, the rattling, which is what I thought was the impeller on the water pump, and we still hope it is, due to it being plastic, as you can see. Once I get all that done, I will know if I can move forward with doing the lower steering. We're crossing our fingers, the motor is good. When I bought it, the guy said everything was good. It was just the alternator went out and he didn't want to pay for it. So without further ado, I'm just going to dive into this car today. It's going to be a lot of just regular maintenance. Just a quick side note too, you don't have to remove the seat completely. I just already had it removed because I had to clean out all the mold in the car, in the carpet, just so it's easier so I can sit in here and do this work here. I'm going to be setting you guys up over here so that hopefully you get a good view. That's pretty much the easiest way to get to this. Everything's kind of right here, and you take out this top compartment and then this pulls out, and that's it. Okay, so here, so the kit I got came with all the two pulleys and the tensioner. These are the two pulleys right here, 1 and 2, and the tensioner right here. So with the tensioner, you're going to use a 5/8 and a 24. So the 5/8 goes on the back. It's actually a bolt on a nut in a sense. So this is the outside nut, if you will, and this bolt goes in between these two with a spacer and a washer. It looks harder than it really is. For how old this was, or is, and hasn't been touched, it actually wasn't that hard to get out. So anyways, I wanted to give you guys a close-up of what I'm looking at. And so I got the belt off. Taking these two off and the tensioner, we're going to replace those, a new belt. Obviously, before we put the belt on, the water pump is right here. We're going to be doing that as well. The bolt for this pulley stops here. So I can see threads. There's like a rubber insulator. So I'm wondering if I can kind of pull this up and out. I just don't want to mess up any threads. But yeah, great design. So my camera decided to die on me about halfway, but here's that pulley out. It takes a lot of wiggling to get this thing out. So basically this sits all the way in there in the alternator with a handle, if you will. So it sits like that. So you get it out and you'll have to just keep wiggling it. And then I got a crowbar lightly underneath the alternator and kind of wiggled that as well as I wiggle this out to pull it out. It will take a long time if it's an old car like this one. I don't think this thing's ever been replaced. Water pump is disconnected besides one pipe in the lower, and I think it's leaking from that one when I put coolant in it last. Not 100% sure, so I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the car. I already have it up here because of that lower steering rack. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack it up from here and here and get under there so that I can remove. The water pump should be able to come out this way. I don't know about from below, which shouldn't matter, but I do need to get to that lower coolant pipe down there. So as you can see, it's leaking from here. Not very much was left in the system, almost at all. I think this was where it was leaking originally, from the bottom of the water pump gasket here. So I'm taking this bolt and this bolt off to get the water pump and thermostat down. All right, old water pump, look at that, and it slides around too. That sounds freaking awful. Holy shit, that's definitely where the leak was coming from, and the noise. New water pump, you see where all the fins are together? That's probably the biggest problem with these Porsches, is these plastic fins. And obviously this is not moving at all besides the way it's supposed to. As you saw, that bottom coolant pipe was just, I mean, absolutely stuck on there. But the problem with it is it goes into one, and it's not a connector, it's all one piece, and it ties off 4 different places. So I think I'm gonna try and leave the hose on there and see if it leaks a little bit, put a little bit of coolant in there, see what happens. Because if that hose is hard, there's 2 others that go up into it, and it might be an absolute nightmare just to get those hoses off, like the coolant or the water pump was. From here, for the rest of the day, all I'm gonna do is scrape that gasket off, clean off that section. I'm gonna be looking down And the reason I'm not recording this is because I can't really get the camera in there. I'm gonna be looking in to the hole to see if any of the plastic, I can see any of the plastic fins, and I'm gonna try and flush it as best as I could. There was more coolant than I expected, but still not very much. Just enough for like a few rags to soak up. On the next episode, I will be actually installing the pulleys this time. I do still need to order the alternator, but I want to get the water pump up and the other 2 pulleys while I can. I need to go ahead and order the new alternator. But other than that, it's nice to know that that water pump is just done. Like, not only the plastic fins completely broken off of it, but it literally drove into one of the nuts for the housing, the water pump housing, and pretty much cut it in half. Hopefully the engine is good. I'm pretty sure it is. We'll find out though. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.